Nick Fuentes went to Zoo Culture. They worked out, whatever. Bradley Martin, I know for a fact, would get more shit if he were to do a similar thing with me than with Nick Fuentes. One must ask the question, why? Perhaps it's because all of the apolitical centrists and all of these other like right-wing accounts and right-wing associated accounts, all of these cultures that actually, all these accounts that dominate like cultural critique on the internet have more smoke for someone like myself than they do for someone like Nick Fuentes.
If you've been online.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to watch this. And we don't have a lot of time until my guests arrive, but I will watch as much as I can. Infiltrating Nick Fuentes' Groyper Army. It's a banger vid from It's Been a Minute and Eric Hovagim. Let's take
For the past couple of months,
let's watch.
You may have heard a word that you were unfamiliar with.
Groypers.
Groypers.
Named after a version of the viral Pepe the Frog meme, Groypers are a fastly growing subsect of the far right, led by none other than political commentator Nicholas J. Fuentes.
Your best friends in life are the most Asperger's, like autistic, racist people you meet on the internet. Those are your best friends. So,
if you're not familiar with Nick's content and ideology, let me lay down his beliefs before we go any further. Nick Fuentes is a white Christian nationalist who says the quiet part of the modern-day American conservative movement out loud.
and yet if she were a little bit more racist, she'd be alive.
He is nativist, sexist, Islamophobic, homophobic, anti-Semitic, and a Holocaust denier. And Nick and his beliefs have been quickly reshaping the new alt-right. But what separates Nick from other right-wing political pundits is he can be hypercritical of Donald Trump, the Republican Party, and Israel. But don't be fooled, because it's not for the same reasons that you probably hold.
I have a hot take about it, of course. Spoiler alert, it has to do with the Jews in Israel.
And we'll be getting to that. Nick also isn't afraid to criticize popular conservative pundits, like Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, and even Charlie Kirk.
It's a good thing Charlie Kirk.
I saw a really funny clip about this from Tim Pool complaining that every major conservative commentator knows exactly why Candace Owens is popping right now and their view counts have plummeted. And it's because she's evil and all the other major conservative pundits are scared to be just as evil or whatever. And it's just because like she's anti-Israel. Like that's it. That's literally it.
Kirk's daughter was born to a rich man in America who lies for a living and is paid by billionaires to do it, and wasn't born in Gaza.
The spread of Nick's influence isn't slowing down anytime soon, and it seems to be quickly reshaping the future of the Republican Party post-Trumpism, whenever that may be. So today, I want to try to understand why Nick is becoming so popular, and really seemingly right in the right-wing space. But most importantly, and probably why you clicked on this video, is I want to see if I can emulate it. Could you take Nick's language, charm, and bluntness, and turn it woke? Can I use the Groyper language to convince thousands of young, angry white guys that it isn't actually a Guatemalan immigrant who is the one raising their rent? But you know what they say.
Good line. Good line, Ben a minute.
Sometimes to truly understand someone, you must first become them.
As a matter of fact, you couldn't name 5 countries. You couldn't tell me what continent China is in.
This feels like a Marvel crossover movie.
Who knows, maybe that's like step 1 to radicalizing them. I want this guy dead.
So we're fighting for our civilization.
I'm just excited to become a Groyper.
Let's Groyp it up. Hey, it's been a minute. And today I'm going to infiltrate Nick Fuentes' Groyper army.
You stole your whole flow? Come on, chatter. There's a reason why I say what I say, so that others say it too. What do you mean? There's no such thing as theft. It's all our talking points, comrade.
When you're infiltrating the system, you have to wear a mask. And you have to assume an identity. It's a spy game. It's tough.
All right, well, I think a good place to start in trying to understand Nick is to watch him where most people watch him, and where most people discover him. And that's through the clips. Because Nick has been banned off most of the woke mainstream sites like YouTube, his content has been able to find a nice home in the form of shorts, reels, and TikToks posted by fan accounts. I guess the woke apps don't really care as long as the hate speech is short, to the point, and under a minute long.
We're putting you in the labubu. I don't know how to say this, but you're going in the labubu. And Gavin Newsom will put you there.
Okay, so from first glance, I guess I kind of get the appeal of some of his content. I mean, if I had no idea who this guy was and I just saw this...
All you have is your vote. It is the billionaires, it is the oligarchs that make the decisions for all of us. It is the billionaires that make the giant campaign contributions. They make the decisions in the public and private sector that affect all of us. What do we have? We have our vote.
I would agree with him. And this is what makes Nick not just unique in the vast pool of right-wing commentators, but also extremely dangerous for the future of American politics. Whether you love him or hate him, Trump and his administration is becoming more unpopular every day. And I don't have a crystal ball, but I don't think MAGA or the new Republican Party can survive without Trump himself. And one day, who knows when, but one day, there will be no Trump. And the Republican Party is going to have to find a new identity post-MAGA. Well, I believe Nick knows this, and is planning and laying the groundwork for what comes next for American conservatives. And I promise you, it's not going to be J.D. Vance. Nick and I can both agree on that.
J.D. Vance was created by the fortune created by Palantir.
So far, Nick has been able to fill the gaps.
Yeah, it's not JD Vance. It's Tucker Carlson. This isn't that bad because it makes so much money for every social media company. You got to think about the CEO too. They need a second boat. I agree. Some people on the right are saying that their current infighting is a result of Kirk being gone. He was the one holding us together, etc., which is some wild revisionist history. A big reason Fuentes even has a career was the visceral hatred young right-wingers have for Charlie. I guess it makes sense from a Groyper perspective because he capitulated to them so much on so many things. To them, this role was a legitimizer of Groyper shit that the right-wing powers that be would have fought against if he wasn't signing off on them. Yeah, the difference is Israel. That's it. The difference is public attitude against Israel. For the longest time, when people, by the way, talk about like Nick Fuentes being debanked or whatever, from what I understand, because I saw a clip of him actually explaining the situation, the reason why he got debanked wasn't because of Israel. The reason why he got debanked was because of January 6th, because he got gifted Bitcoin to the tune of 250 right before January 6th, as a matter of fact, from a foreign donor. Okay. And then he participated in January 6th. So the administration that was investigating all of the top, actors, top participants in January 6th, saw that and obviously froze all of his assets in the process of that investigation. Then they concluded their investigation. They found that it was like some French hacker who I guess was giving money to, or at least this is Nick Fuentes' statement about it, but it was a French hacker that had stolen a bunch of money from other people, and before he committed suicide, he sent, these gift donations. Kaya, nope. These gift donations to a bunch of people that were quote unquote defending Western civilization from his perspective. Anyway, so that's the reason why he was debanked, not because he was like saying the truth about Israel. But you could say that he was censored from all social media platforms, from major social media platforms, not necessarily because he was talking shit about Israel, even though that probably played a role in it as well, but because he was an anti-Semitic Holocaust denier who was anti-miscegenation and thinks that, white people are racially better and superior to all other non-white races. That is the reason why he was censored on all of these major social media platforms, but the reason why he was debanked is not because of Israel, but because of his participation in January 6th. Just so we are clear.
With the majority of disenfranchised young people who are starting to doubt Trump's leadership and overall plan for the country. Through economic populist rhetoric, Nick speaks to relatable problems for any young person, or more specifically, young white men.
Oh, okay, you won't forgive my student loans? Okay, well, that's because the free market said so. The free market says that Republicans have enough money to bomb Iran, but not enough money to pay for my student loans. And I'm going to vote for that because I'm an idiot.
With leaders in neither political party being able to speak like this, other than a few on the left like Zohran Mamdani, AOC, and Bernie, and now I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene?
This is the number one issue I hear about in my district.
There's legit 50x times more Fuentes content on IG Reels than Hasan content. He's not really censored. I will tell you like this. There are more people on the right that like Nick Fuentes, and more Groypers that like Nick Fuentes, more like extremely online people that like Nick Fuentes than there are extremely online people who like me. For example, Bradley Martin just did a post with Nick Fuentes, right? Nick Fuentes went to Zoo Culture, they worked out, whatever. Bradley Martin, I know for a fact, would get more shit if he were to do a similar thing with me than with Nick Fuentes. One must ask the question, why? Perhaps it's because all of the apolitical centrists and all of these other like right-wing accounts and right-wing associated accounts, all of these cultures that actually, all these accounts that dominate like cultural critique on the internet have more smoke for someone like myself than they do for someone like Nick Fuentes. Okay, because Nick Fuentes himself is a creature of the right, or a creature of the internet, rather. Sorry. That is the reality. I know for a fact that Bradley Martin would get more shit for doing a video with someone like myself than he is getting for doing a video with Nick Fuentes. If that is the media landscape that we have created for ourselves, as you know, like liberals on the internet, leftists on the internet, then the expectation that like it wasn't inevitable that a figure like Nick Fuentes would be able to be the only voice that penetrates broader consciousness with like fake left populism, it was inevitable. This is the same thing that happened with Tucker Carlson when he was on Fox News. He was doing the same WASP nationalist, white supremacist commentary that was the only game in town for any sort of left populist sentiment, any sort of pro-worker sentiment. MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, all of the liberal outlets were antagonistic towards a class-first politics. Meanwhile, Tucker Carlson on the far right was able to do that on Fox News. So many people gravitated towards that because class-first politics or pro-working class politics is successful. It's popular. It's the largest group that we're talking about. In the past, before Nick Fuentes, Ben Shapiro did a similar thing. At the time, when TYT was, the biggest name in progressive news, many people had hatred for TYT that they did not have for the likes of Ben Shapiro or the likes of Jordan Peterson. This is how these guys create a robust network of center-right to far-right to straight-up neo-Nazi influencers that are constantly cross-pollinating amongst themselves. Okay? Meanwhile, the left is consistently fighting amongst itself. The left is consistently trying to undermine whatever the most visible version of the left actually looks like because he's not perfect, or because I watched one too many clips, or one too many different influencers that decided that this person is actually bad and secretly a fascist. This is just the unfortunate reality. Okay? This is how it works. There's more people who hate Hasan, libs hate Hasan, centrists hate Hasan, right-wingers hate Hasan. Hasan gets more online harassment than I've seen online. Yes, I will say this, like Nick Fuentes is a straight up neo-Nazi, white supremacist, Holocaust denier who is against race mixing. And I know for a fact that while I have a much larger profile than Nick Fuentes broadly, I also have much more robust force of haters than Nick Fuentes does. Because like, think about how many times, I don't know, all these like slop tubers have actually covered Nick Fuentes. How many times have they done videos on Nick Fuentes, whether it be that more Pegasus guy or whether it be the Willie Slop Tube guy? How many times have they covered Nick Fuentes? Some of them are friends with Nick Fuentes. This is how it works. If the apolitical dullards actually get their political notes from slop tubers, okay? If they get their political notes from slop tubers and those slop tubers are all in unison, constantly shitting on me, and they spend zero time shitting on Nick Fuentes, who is literally a Holocaust denier, why would the random young like apolitical people that get their political notes from these dipshits ever feel like Nick Fuentes is a threat or is in any way, shape, or form controversial? They'll just hear other people in mainstream news say he's controversial, and they don't give a shit about mainstream news. Mainstream news has no motion. Mainstream news has no motion for people under the age of 35, and especially for people under the age of 35. They are getting their information from slop tubers and TikTokers. And if those TikTokers are spending way more time shitting on the largest left-wing content creator and consistently saying, oh, socialism means he needs to be poor, but I'm saying that as a leftist and I'm not a reactionary right-winger, or any number of different idiotic things that they find to make content around, then of course people are not going to develop any sort of resentment towards Nick Fuentes. He's going to be able to get through that process. Doors open. Women, queer people, and people of color. Bradley Martin in the YouTube commentary sphere. That's why the disgusting fuck would get less shit. The online commentary and drama sphere is right wing. Exactly. That's my point. And the same reason that is also precisely the same reason why Jonathan Greenblatt is focused more on me than him. What's good? All the time. It's annoying. So let me pull up a chair for you. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, thank you.
I'd love a water. Thank you so much.
Here, pull in a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that I can frame it right for everybody when Pokey gets here too. Oh. All right. We're currently doing commentary on one of my
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
one of my HasanAbi heads
Yes.
that infiltrated the Nick Fuentes Goriper army